Okay, so hello guys, and welcome to another live stream for today. So I'm just going to wait for people to join the stream so you can. So I have all of my fabrics here that we're going to use for today. So I'm just trying to arrange my pattern. Okay, so I'm trying to fix my pattern. So you are welcome, guys. So you're welcome. So as soon as you join the stream, I just need somebody to confirm good evening, that you can hear me, you can see me. Okay, let's see. Okay, this Bridget. Okay, you're watching from Ghana. You're welcome. Okay, so guys, so please let me know as soon as you come into the stream. Let me know that you can hear me, you can see me, so we can go straight into our tutorial for today. So I'm just trying to make things a little bit fast. So please drop a comment as soon as you come in. I need somebody to confirm that you can hear me and that you can see me. Okay, so please let me know that you can hear me. Okay, so let's see. Diana, you're welcome. Okay, Umi, thank you so much. Diana, you're watching from Ghana. Umi Folajin, you're welcome. Watching from Ibafor, Ogun State. Hearing you loud and clear. Wow, that's a good one. Yes, these are people that have understood this live stream straight to the point. Thank you so much, VG Studios. You're watching Sham Makeover, Sham Over, Smack Over. Okay, you're watching from India. Hello. Okay, guys. Okay. So, Wumi, you have confirmed that you can hear me loud and clear. So, without waste of time, let's just get started into our tutorial for today. So, what I'm trying to do now, Lawa, you're welcome. You're watching from Houston, Texas. Thank you so much for joining today's stream. So what I'm going to do now, I want to okay, let me show you guys what we'll be doing before we continue. Okay, so today we're making an off shoulder dress, off shoulder top basically. Yes, so I actually snapped it. It was already on the other phone. I just had to snap it out so you can see. So this is just basically what we are doing. Odom Shirley, you're watching from UK. You're welcome. Esther Ilori, you're watching from Lagos, Nigeria. So this is what we are going to be doing today. So you can see. Okay. So guys, so let's just get straight started into our tutorial today. Okay, so now let me readjust so we don't waste so much time. Okay. So the last time I did a live stream, I actually used the other format. But I found out that it was so difficult for me to like read the messages. It was not easy for me to, I could not read the messages. I just could not attend to the messages, and it was not, actually did not like it. So I had to switch back to this one. Okay, so I have a line. So I'm going to show you guys how we are going to be placing the lines. Okay, so this is the first line. So this first line is going to serve as our shoulder line. So because it is an off shoulder blouse, we're going to use 6 inches. So for off shoulder, you can actually use 6 inches drop, that's from the shoulder to the off shoulder point. You can use 5 inches. 5 inches is like standard. The neckline will not be too deep. So for this, if you notice, the neckline came down a little bit, so I'm going to be using 6 inches. So this is my 6 inches. So the next point I want to add is my bust point line, which is this point. That's my bust point line. So for my bust point line, that line is 11 inches. So I'm going to mark 11 inches here. So then the next line after 11 inches, which is my bust point, the next line is my under bust line. So my under box line is 14 inches. So this is 14 inches. And then the next line that I want is that's this my under bust is my waistline, which is 18 inches or 17.5. So I'll use 17.5. And then the next length I want is the full length of my blouse, which is 23 inches. So these are all the lines. So I just use dotted lines first. So now we are going to let's just mark all the lines on our pattern paper. Okay, so that's the under the bust line, and then this is the under bust line. I hope I'm going to double check. And then this is my full length. Okay, I think I missed the line. Yes, that's the under bust line. Yes, the bust line, because I was like, how come this line from here to here is so long? That's the distance is long. I was like, okay. And I realized that I did not pull one line, because since it is an off shoulder, the line is supposed to be closer to the top. Okay, yes, okay. So the next thing we're going to do, Ekura, you're welcome. Elizabeth, you're watching from Ghana. Thank you so much. Abigail, thank you so much. I love to be here. God bless you for your teachings. Thank you so, so much. Okay, so now what we are going to do now, we're starting straight, 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 straight. Okay. Yes. So the next thing we want to do now, we want to start drafting our pattern. So if you notice, this pattern is a shoulder dart pattern, is a shoulder dart off shoulder pattern. Is not a bust dart. If you notice, the lines are here like this. Okay. Yes. So the first thing we're going to do now, we're going to take out our dart. So to take out our dart is a simple process. To take out our dart, we're going to start from the shoulder line. Yes, we're going to start from the shoulder line. So the shoulder measurement that we're using for this, okay, no, let's start from the down so you don't get confused. So use our bust pan, that's from one nipple to another. So for this, my bust pan is actually 8 inches. That's from here to here is 8 inches. Is even 7. So it's 7 inches. So I'll add 1 inch to it to make it 8. So just use your own or your client's bust pan. Okay, so you can see mine. See, this is one nipple, this is the other one, is 7 inches. So I'll add 1 inch to it to give me allowance. So when I have I'll have 8, and then you divide that 8 into 2. Okay, so this is what you will use now. So that 8, I'm going to mark share it into 2, which is 4. I'll mark it here. So this is my full length line. If you have any questions, please, this is a live class. Just drop your question. Ask your question. That's the essence of doing a live class. Okay. So this is my 4 inches. Drop your questions. Type it sharp, sharp, and drop it. Okay. So now I want you guys to know this is my bust line. This is my under bust. This is my waist. Okay. And then this is my full length. So note, on the full length, I added 4. On the waist, I added 4. On the under bust, I added 4. On the bust line, I'm going to add 5 inches. I'm adding 1 inch to it because it is a shoulder dart. Okay, I'm adding 1 inch to it. So the line is like this. It comes like this. It's not like the other one that everything is equal, straight down. No, it is different. Okay, so that is why. So I added 5 inches. So this one is optional. So that 5 inches now, which is like 10. So you can see where it's going to be. So as it's coming like this, it's going to come like this and then cut through. Okay, yes. So on the shoulder line, on my shoulder line, so my shoulder measurement is 7. You understand? My shoulder measurement is 7. So I'm going to add that 7 inches. That's 7 plus 7, that's 14. So I'm going to add that measurement. So that will reduce it later when we are doing our final trimming. Okay. So note, so you can see, I'm just trying to, because of all the so much point on this my pattern paper, so I don't get everything confused out. Okay, so now I'm going to join all of these lines together so you can see how my line is going to be. Let me use dotted lines. Most times I like using dotted lines. You can see. Can you see? Can you see how the shape is going? You can see the shape, right? Yes, that's how simple it is. So you will know. So once you see the pattern, even you will know that this is a shoulder dart. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to mark it. So I'm trying to look for the best way to mark this. I don't want it. Normally, it's not supposed to be too straight. So I'm just trying to use my pattern curve like this, okay? So I'm just trying to mark it in such a way that it is not too straight, but definitely it's going to be straight. Okay, so now you can see. So this part, I'm going to just blend this part. So you can see the shape of our pattern of our bust here. So the next thing, we are going to start adding our lines. Okay, so we're going to add our dart. So our dart is going to be to one side. So for the dart, I'm going to come to my under bust line like this now. So I'll come to my under bust line like this. Okay, so I'll come to my under bust line. I'm going to use about 2.5 inches for my dart. So I'll mark it like this. So now just see, watch what I'm going to do. So from this point, I'm going to create a curve like this. So this, I can actually use my pattern curve to do this, to make it easier. If I want to make it easier. So I can take my pattern curve like this, and then I'll just mark in case you don't have a pattern curve. So that is why most times you see I want to use my hand, my free hand. Okay. And then when I come to this top part, I'm going to extend this a little bit. Okay. So you can see what I'm doing. So you can see I have my nice curve here. So I'm going to come to the shoulder area. Remember this part, initially we added 7 inches. So now we are going to take, I'm going to mark out now. So from that 7 inches, I'm going to take out 2 inches from for the dart. So I'll mark that 2 inches, and then I'm going to use my pattern curve like this to curve this in. So we're still going to work on this. Okay, so you can see, can you see? Yes. So the next thing now, this our 2.5 inches that I'm going to bring it down like this. So I'm just marking it down, okay? So you can see it's a simple process. So I'll use my straight ruler like this. So you can reduce the down part if you are working for people that are very busty. Okay, so you can see. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to take out our full measurement. So there's another way to do this, but let's take out our full body measurements first. So now in taking out our full body measurement, now we're going to come back to this point now, to this shoulder area. Okay, you guys should keep watching. We're going to come back to this shoulder area. You know our bust, our shoulder measurement is actually 7, right? Yes, so we're going to come back to this point. So at this top part now, this is my 7 inches. You understand? This is my 7 inches here. And then I have my 2 inches here. So what I'm going to do, another way that I'm going to do this, I can cut it and place it back. That's, I can cut this out and then place it on top of here. But if I don't want to do it that way, I want to take out the full body measurement. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come to this part like this. I'll measure my 7. This is my 7 inches. And then on this part, I'm going to, these 2 inches that I took out, I'll just place that 2 inches back. We're still going to take that out at the end of the day. Okay, so I'll just place that back, and then on this part also I'm going to mark my bust measurement. So my bust measurement is 9, which is 36. 9 divided by 4 is 36. I'll mark 9 here, and then on this part like this, I'm going to add like just like 3 inches allowance. So when I add my 3 inches allowance, it's going to come like this. So I'll mark it here. So on this part now, I'm going to take out my armhole. Remember this point like this. So the armhole is going to be on this line, okay? So you remember we use 6 inches. So this is my 6 inches. I'll mark my 6 inches here like this. And then I want to use 18 for my armhole, which is 9. So make sure that's 18 divided by 2, which is 9. I'll mark it like this. So if you don't understand, please ask question. This is a little bit of an advanced kind of bust here. So I'll just curve this out like this, and then I'll create a curve. I'll just create a curve. Okay, yes, so I'll create a curve like this. So remember, this is our bust measurement. So I'm just connecting it from this point. Let it come here. And then our under bust measurement. So our under bust measurement is 30, which is 7.5. So I'll mark my 7.5 plus my 2 plus my 3 inches that I use. Sorry, my 2.5 inches. I'll bring that 2.5 inches back, and then I'll add my allowance. So for the allowance, use any applicable allowance the way you normally used to do it. And then my waist measurement is 32. So when you divide 32 into 4, I have 8 inches. I'll mark it here. And then I'll check what I have here at this down part. I'll bring that back, which is about that 2.5 inches. And then I'll add like another 2 inches for my allowance. So I'll mark this. So I'm just connecting it like this. And then I'll come to the down part, which is my waist, which is the blouse waist, which is like the down part. Okay, so the down part, which is like 40. So I'll divide 40 into 4. I have 10 inches. I'll add that 10 inches and then add these 2 inches back into my pattern, and then add another 2 inches for allowance. So that's that. And then I'm going to mark it like this. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do now, I want to I want to cut this out first so that we can see it more clearer, and then we'll continue. So if you notice, you see my pattern paper, I'm cutting both the back and the front together. Why? If you notice, I did not add a zip allowance because the allowance that I will take out will still work for me. Okay. Now let's work on this part, this shoulder part. That's like the important part. So now we're going to do some tightening on top of that part so that our dress is not going to fall entirely. Okay, let's see. But stress on how to get the armhole. Okay, the armhole. Okay, don't worry, I'll come back to that. Okay, so okay, let me just do it now. So in getting the armhole, remember this our start line. We use 6 inches. That's from the shoulder. We actually dropped, since it is an off shoulder, we actually dropped by 6 inches. So in case you are dropping by 5 inches, this is you dropping by 5 inches. Remember your armhole. Hmm? Your round armhole, if it's if it's 16 inches, that's round. When you measure it round, if it's 16 inches, so that means you divide that 16 into 2, you are going to have 8. So 8 inches. And then remember, if you are using 5 inches, I'm just using an example. If you are using 5 inches for your shoulder drop, and then your armhole is 8 plus 8, which is 16, this is how you are going to drop, this is how you are going to place it. So at the end of the day, you are going to be marking this point of 8, because your shoulder, so from the top like this, you already have that 8 inches. So can you see? So this is how you will mark it. So mine, that I use 6 inches to drop it. This is my 6 inches, and my armhole is 18. So I'll divide 18 into 2. I have 9 inches. So this is how I'll place it, and then mark the 9 inches on this line, which is now my armhole line, which can still serve as my chest line, and then create my curve. So I'm not going to take this like this and start drawing. Do you understand? Because I already took out some inches from my pattern before I started. So you put that into consideration while marking your armhole. So I hope it is clear. So if it is not clear, please let me know. I will still throw more light on it. Okay. Yes. So now we want to tighten this part. Okay. So at the end of the day, we'll check now, what do we have here? We have about 8.5 inches, which obviously this is bigger than our shoulder. So now what I'm going to do now on this chest part, I'm going to take out this part that is 7. I'm going to take out 1 inch from this part. Why am I taking out 1 inch? I want to use that as a tightening for my what do you call it, for my shoulder. So you can take out 1 inch, you can take out half of an inch. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come to this part now. I'm going to mark this like this. So you can see, can you see the pattern? So this you can actually do in two ways. There's another way you can actually drop this pattern. Initially, you can decide not to put the whole 7 inches into this first part. You can decide to put 5 inches here and then put the other 2 inches on this side, and then when you are done from this side, you still reduce it. So there are different ways of actually drafting this piece. Okay, so now I've reduced my 1 inch. So during the sewing process, I'm still going to shaping that. So now I want to cut this out now. So you see how my pattern looks like now. So can you see? Can you see? It's just simple. It's a simple pattern. So these ones now I'm going to cut these whole ones. I'm cutting them all off. Okay. So the thing with this pattern, this bust here is that it used to come out very well, as it will come out really big. But as a beginner, you might not be able to really pull it off. You understand? Because you can see already, see how the bust area, how it came out very well. Okay. Tony, you're welcome. You're watching from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining. So you guys should please like this video. I would appreciate that. Okay. So guys, you can see. So we have this already. So the next thing now, I'm going to work on my back pattern. If you notice, I've not added the neckline for this pattern. Okay, yes, I've not added the neckline. So I just want to, so this is for my back frame. So for my back frame, I'm going to just add my waist dart. Okay, so my back is just like a basic back, but if you notice, we have not added neckline to our piece. So there's a way I normally do it. I can decide to add my neckline. I can decide not to add the neckline now. Okay, so let's just add the neckline to make it easier. So to add the neckline, this is what we are going to be doing like this. So let me keep the back piece. Let's add the neckline on this front piece. Okay. So to add the neckline, this is what we have now. So basically we're using a round neckline. Okay, I'm trying to look for my tape so I can tape it down to make it easier. Okay, so now I've taped it down. So the next thing now, if you notice, is a round neckline. So I'm just trying to double check it. Yes, a round neckline that cuts across the whole of this part. So for that round neckline now, what I'm going to do now, the neckline cuts all across. So it's like a high neckline. You understand? It's not really very deep like that. So remember our 6 inches already before. So for this, I want to use a chalk first. Normally you can use a pencil. So I want to use, so the depth of the neckline, so you can see that that neckline came up to almost like the chest area. So I'm going to use like 7.5 inches for this neckline. So you can see I'm using about 7.5 inches. Remember, when you are marking it, this is 6 inches. Okay, yes. So put that into consideration. So this is how it will go. It will come like this and then cut across the armhole. You see around the armhole part, I'm raising it up a little bit. Does not need to come down too deep. So you just mark it like this and then it comes down. So in case you don't want something that will be too open, don't use 7.5 inches. So you can see I'm cutting it on top. So I'm cutting it on top, if you notice. So can you see the way the neckline is looking? You can see. Okay, so now this neckline, now for my back piece, So when I want to add it to my back piece, it's a simple process. I'm just trying to find my chalk. So for the back necklines are always deeper. Okay. Yes, they are always deeper. So for the back neckline, I'm going to come down as much as 9 inches. So this is my 9 inches. So that 9 inches, this was what I was trying to say for the back, for the side. So you can see, so you curve that into that armhole area like that. Okay. Yes. So I've marked that, and so you can see this is the back. You see how it looks. Okay. So now the next thing, now let's transfer all of this into our fabric, and let's just get straight into our stitching for today. So this is the fabric. So I'm just trying to, I cut them out in pieces just to make everything a little bit easier for me. Okay, so this, I'm going to use this for the front piece. So you can see I'll just place them like this, and then I'm going to cut immediately. Okay, so let's see. So like I said, if you have questions, please you can drop your questions on the comment section. I'll still refer to them. It's better for you to ask questions now as we are on. So if you notice, can you see the way I'm cutting? For those of you that don't know, you notice I am not cutting directly on the lines. Okay. I'm not cutting directly on my lines. So I've cut that part out now. So the next thing, I want to cut this front, this center front out. Okay, so the center front, I'm just placing it like this. So make sure, so that's for our center front. Okay, so that thing that I just did is a very risky thing I did. Why I said it's very risky, because when you are making this bust here, this one I'm actually going to start stitching it from the, I'm going to start stitching it from the down. I'm not going to stitch it from the up. So we have different types of bustier and different ways of actually achieving them. Okay, so there are some that you can start stitching from the down, there are some that you can start stitching from the top. Okay, so now let's see. Is okay, you say, is there any other neckline? Yes, now you can use any other neckline, any style. You can use a sweetheart neckline for this. So if you check through my live stream, I think I have some off shoulder that are sweetheart. You can use a sweetheart neckline if you don't want to use this deep, this full round neckline, because this full round neckline, the truth of the matter is that it's not everybody that actually likes it. You understand? If you are somebody that don't really want your business out there, you really not like it. So I understand. Yes, you can use a sweetheart neckline, even this same round neckline. Oh, I just realized that I did not curve my blouse. So we're going to do that when we, after stitching. I did not curve the blouse. It's just looking straight. Also, as I was cutting the down, no, normally. Okay. So now I'm going to open the back for my zip allowance for my back piece. And like I said, I'm using a straight dart. So I'm just going to put my dart. Okay. So now let's get started. Let's start stitching. So I'm just going to readjust the camera so we can start stitching. So we just go straight. Yes. All right. Let's see. Okay. I look at the way I'm sweating. If I put on my fan now, it's going to start blowing everything out. So let's see. Let's teach our dart. So for my back dart, I'm going to run it from the top, from the bottom to the top. Okay. So I'm just using about half of an inch for my dart. So I use about half of an inch. You know, this when you are using fabrics that are the same, is a very risky thing for you not to open it. What I mean by, there's a probability now that when you stitch, you can stitch the wrong side. So I don't want any problem. So let me just open them up, okay? Mhm. So if you have questions, you can just drop your questions on my comment section. So I would, okay, Tony. Oh, sorry. A recap, right? Okay, don't worry. I'll do that. I'm just coming. Okay, maybe as we stitch, we are going to do that. So this is the center part. So like I said, we actually used a shoulder dart today. So for the shoulder dart, what we did, so you can see the way the center is not the normal. So for this, when you want to do, you are going as when you want to do, probably when you want to cut it, draft rather you want. So before I digress, so we are going to start stitching. So this is like the most important part. So this is our center front and our side front. So you can see. So you take them like this, and then you start stitching from the down. Okay, if you notice this one, I'm going to start stitching from the down. So I'll use about half of an inch or quarter of an inch. So it depends on how many inches you normally use to sew your hand. So when you get to this bust area, you are going to take it easy. Okay, yes. So just watch. You can see what I'm doing. You can see I'm just using my hand gently. So at this point now, you must have done your pad for your dress. Okay, yes, you must have padded your dress at this point. Can you see? I'm just coming. I'm coming. I'll show you guys. Can you see? You see the neckline? So this neckline, we're going to give it some small, small boom, boom, boom again. We're going to curve it because it's looking like it is straight. It is so straight. So now I'm going to stitch the other side. So I'll just take it like this and then I'll place it. And then we are going to start stitching. Okay? Yes. So you just follow it straight. You know, you are going towards the bust side. You are going to stop. Don't use rush on this part. And then just take your time gently, okay? So like I normally used to tell my online students, you can always buy cheap fabric and try out patterns and designs. You get? So it actually makes it easier for you. Don't just wait until you buy an expensive fabric for you to use it to practice. Then you will now be trying to be over meticulous, and doing over meticulous can scatter everything. Okay, so you can see my neckline. So you can see, I just want to show you guys. I'm going to show you. Before then, let's see. I want to curve out the neckline nicely. So let's see. So I'm folding it back together like this, so you can see. All right, so this is mine. I'm trying to get my chalk. Okay, so you can see my chalk. So I'm trying to get my chalk. So I just want to curve this more nicely. So I'm going to show you something. Can you see where I'm stopping it? I did not, and I did not go all the way. So and then after this, what you are going to still check. I'm trying to find mine. So always make sure you check. Don't just put. There was somebody that actually sent me a message that she made an off-shoulder dress, and the neckline was too long. Once the neckline is too long, the only option you have is either you use your what do you call it, the straps to reduce it, or the sleeve to reduce it. Other than that, there's nothing you can do about it. So you can see, so that is why people notice when I was cutting the neckline, I cut it above the line that I marked. Okay, so in case of this kind of situation, so we use 6 inches, so that 6 inches is still here. So at the end of the day, now when I mark my neckline, you will notice that is now that is getting to that 7.5 inches. So you put that into consideration. So when cutting the first time, cut above the neckline. That's the line that you measure for the neck. You get. Don't cut on the exact line. Okay. So I'm trying to be very careful here. If not, off shoulder, that's one issue and problem that you have with them. Before you know what is happening, the neckline is too big. So can you see now? Can you see? So what I even have here too is a little bit big. So you guys should note something. You can see if I'm using my measurement, I actually did not use my measurement, but even at that, you can see that it is looking like it is a little bit too long, too wide. Okay, so how do we correct this now? That person, I can't understand what you are typing. So how do we correct this now? We're going to correct it from this point. Okay, so just basically what we are going to do, we're just going to reduce this part. You remember this bust part a little bit. Okay, so that's that. So for those of you that will like, you are having issues like maybe the neckline is wide or this or that, at this point now that you have not gone far, you'll be able to correct it. So you can see, can you see? You see now it's looking like it is balanced more. And then on this part also, I'm going to still correct it. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that you have when making an off-shoulder dress. There's a probability that neckline can be too wide, but most times when I'm making an off-shoulder pattern, I usually don't like using this neck dart pattern. You get understand? I usually don't like using it. I like using the shoulder dart. So shoulder dart will actually help you if you're making an off-shoulder. It will help you to like tame your neckline properly. But this, why I did this, since we are following what we have there, so that is why. Okay, so now I'm just trying to curve this. I'm just trying to curve this out. So all of this, you need to check all of this, curve them all out before you turn with your lining piece. Check all of them out. That's why if you have a mannequin, place it on your mannequin as you are walking. You place it on your mannequin, you check everything nicely. Okay, so after checking everything, you can now go ahead and turn with your lining. Okay, so you can see. So let me show you guys. Can you see the bust part? You see, even without, see, we did not even put any pad. You can see how beautiful the bust area is looking. You can see that it is sitting, really sitting nicely now. Can you see? Uh-huh. So the next thing we want to do now, we want to join our back and our front piece together. So to join the back and the front piece is a simple process. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to join my back piece. I'll join it on the zip allowance part. I just like close it back. So I'll close it back. So after closing it back, the next thing now, I'm going to open this up. I just want to show you guys so you will see. So can you see? Wow, what are these people typing on? This one that I cannot even read the language. I just wonder what they are putting on my channel because I cannot read what they are writing, and I pray YouTube help me. If they put anything that is not, YouTube will hold the comments. So guys, so the next thing we're going to do now, we want to join our shoulder part. So for this shoulder part, most times what I normally do for this shoulder part, normally you are not supposed to join them together, but most times because it is an off shoulder, so but most times what I normally do, I will pin it, either pin it or just stitch it so it does not give me problem when I'm joining the side. So let's join the side seam together. Okay. So most times that's what I normally used to do. I'll just like pin it together. So I think I should do that. Let me pin it. Okay. So on this point like this, at this point, so at times I used to pin it, or at times I'll just use my machine to just like give it a stitch, just secure it down. So after joining it like this, I'm going to join the side of my blouse. So this armhole, we're still going to work on it, so you people should just watch. Okay, so just watch. I'm just trying to do the important part of this. So let me show you guys, in case of those of you that don't know how to measure. So let's, for the sake, let's measure. Okay, let me just measure it and show you guys. So the only thing that I think we're not going to do, we're not going to do the sleeve. The sleeve is a normal sleeve. I've done it before on the channel, so I'm just going to explain it. So now what you do at this point now, everything you are measuring at this point now is 2 2. You understand? So you can see now my shoulder, you can see that my shoulder is 17. But since I'm reducing by 1 inch, I'm going to have it here. So I'm just putting it here. You understand? Because since it is an off shoulder, so I reduced it by 1 inch. So I'm going to put it here. So when we're trimming our armhole, that's where I'm going to trim it from. I hope you guys can see. And then I'm going to come to my bust line. So for the bust, I'll come to below my armhole here. And then I'm going to use 19, because 19 plus 19, that's 36. I'll mark it here like this. Okay. And then I'll mark it here also. And then I'll come to my under bust. I'm using 30 inches. So for that 30 inches now, I'll mark it here like this, and then I'll mark it here. And then for my tummy area, which is my waist, I'm using 32, which is 18 plus 18. No, 32 is 16, no. So this is 16 here, and then 16. And then the down part, I'm using about 40. So, but I'm going to reduce it out. I don't want to use, let's see. Okay, 40, yes. So it entered where? So this is my 40. So you divide that 40 into 2, which is 20. So all of my points now, I'm going to mark all of them like this so you can see. So I'm connecting them. So when you connect very well, normally you will see the shape. Do you understand? You will see the shape of your blouse. Can you see? Normally the shape of your blouse will come out on its own. Okay, unless if it is somebody that don't have shape very well, but normally the shape will come out. So now what we are going to do now, we're just going to follow that line and we'll join our piece together. Okay, Okay, you say you're watching from Russia. Okay, you have decided to speak English because I was not understanding what you are writing. So thank you for stopping by. So I've stitched the down this one side, and then I'm going to stitch the other parts. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys, like I said, we're going to work on this piece. Okay. So now let's see. So I'm trying to trim out the sides. I'm, I was almost cutting the seam along with it. So the next thing, I want to shape this dress. So to shapen it, I'm just going to turn it like this before I iron it. Okay, yes, I'll turn it like this, and then I am going to just come up on this side. You can just come up by, I'm looking for my chalk again. I have plenty chalk here. So I'm just going to come up by like 2 inches. Yes, just mark it, and then just give that a beautiful curve here. You can see it is a simple process. So can you see? So this will help to give your blouse a beautiful shape. So now we have shaping our blouse. You can see the down. It looks good, right? So now what we are going to do now, let's iron our piece and then work on the armhole. Okay, and then work on the armhole, because this armhole we are going to trim it to give it perfection. Okay, so let's see. Let me turn off my machine, and then so that the energy is not fully consumed. So I'll turn off my machine, and then I'm going to on my pressing iron. Okay, yes. So let me turn this over so we can give it a good press. So like I said, we're still going to work on the armhole. Okay, for those of you, because I did not say you people should like my video today, how about you people did not like this video now? You guys should please like this video. Ah, how can I just have just five likes? No, now that's not nice. You people should, on this right hand side of your screen, this right hand side, the top part of this right hand side, you will see those three dots. Just click on the three dots. Once you click on the three dots, as I'm ironing now, please do it. Just click on the three dots. When you click on the three dots, you are going to see the like button. It will come out, so you can now like the video. Please, you people should like the video. Ah, I forgot to say it since, so you people do not like my video. That's not good. I'm trying to straighten the sides out. It's like this, my pressing iron is getting too hot. Okay. So most of these fabrics that I'm using for this live stream, I'm just using all this normal cotton fabric, lining, all those things just to teach. Okay. So let me take off my pressing iron. There's something I want to do. I want to iron the center part of my blouse. Okay. Yes. The iron is too hot. You see, once pressing iron is too hot is a problem. It became too hot, and I usually don't like it because it will instead of it to smoothen your work, it will even make it over rough. Let me just leave it, I'll come back to it. So let's see, let's work on the on our armhole area. Okay, yes. So now for us to, let's see, so I want you guys to watch, pay close attention. So for that person that asked this question then about this shoulder, this part, so what you will do, you pin it together. Make sure you pin, so you can make sure as in pin, especially this bust area, pin it down so everything will stay in place. Okay, the dart lines, pin them together. You can see how this bust here is, even though it does not have any pad, it's still standing, so that shows how good the pattern is. So this is what I want to do now. So here now you are going to determine, so I'm going to place this here, you understand, you know, my armhole, you understand. So I'll mark my armhole like this, and then I'm going to curve this like this. So with this now, you find out that at the end of the day, my armhole will be reduced, you understand, the neckline, everything will reduce. That is, I've successfully shaped this dress. So if in case you have a client, maybe you made a dress for somebody and it is too big, what you will do, this is where you will correct your off shoulder, you understand, this is where you will correct it from at this point. So it depends on how much you are coming. So this you can curve from here, you can curve from here. So at the end of the day, just make sure that you have your bust measurement, you understand, put that into consideration. Make sure that you have your bust measurement. So at the end of the day, I'm going to place both of them like this because it is an off shoulder. So I'll place both of them together like this. I'm trying to make sure that everything is staying well. So one is not bigger than one, and then I'm going to cut this. Okay, so you see now, I'm going to curve. Can you see? So all my neckline now, I can now curve this properly. So at the end of the day, I think I'm going to do this one. So I want to check, I want to make sure that I check. If not, your armhole is going to be too small. So this is 8 inches, which is like 16. So at the end of the day, when you check like this, can you see this part now? This is your armhole. You can see. Can you see? So I'll cut. I'm just still trying to trim this nicely. Okay. Yes, you can see my armhole. So I want to do this one for this other left side also. So I'll come here like this. I'll use my 6 inches. People know that I use 6 inches. So I'll mark this. I'll mark my 8 inches there, and then I'm going to curve this in like this. Okay. So so at times you might have, so you can see at the end of the day, can you see, can you see how it is looking? The fabric is looking rough because it is a lining fabric. So just follow everything. If I was using an original Ankara, now it will be smoother than this, but just follow everything that I'm teaching. Okay. Yes. So now what I want to do now, I want to see if I can iron it to make it a little bit smoother. So we are done already. So for those of you that can take it from here, for like those of you that want to, if you want to add your sleeve, I'll show you. I'm going to explain, show you guys how to draft that sleeve. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So I'm just trying, looking for a way to, my hand. I'm one person that can construct ham every minute as I'm working. And just, that's the battle with this fabric. Oh. You will be trying to make it smooth, it will not be smooth. So let's just leave it. I'll try the lining. Okay. Yes. So we are almost done. So let me show you guys how to draft the sleeve so you can see. So any excess that you have, just cut it off. Okay. Yes. Can you see? So I just want to show you guys. Can you guys see? Can you see the neck? Can you see? You understand that hair? Let the hair go to the back. Can you see? I just want to show you guys so how to achieve this. Okay, so we're done almost 1 hour, and I'll soon stop the tutorial. So for the sleeve, so I'm going to show you guys how to draft the sleeve. It is a simple process. Let me use a paper. Yes. So to draft the sleeve, so you can see it is a sleeve that has it has gathers on top. So when you want to draft this kind of sleeve, you need to add, since that top part is it's going to have a casing. So another way you can do that, you can fold it, just fold in your case first. When you fold in your case, and then you are going to determine how wide you want your sleeve to be, because you know it's going to be gathered together. So for this, I can use like 10 or 12 inches, which is okay. Even though my armhole, that's this part of my armhole is like 10, that's round armhole on top is 10. On a normal day, I'm supposed to mark here, it's supposed to be 5 inches. But since I'm going to be putting gathers, so I've just brought it to like 10. Okay, let's just say 10 inches, okay? And then from this 10 inches, remember that we're using 6 inches for our sleeve, okay? So that's 6 inches. You are going to add this to it, this casing. You understand? You're going to put this casing into consideration. So when you put that casing into consideration, okay, so let me just check how many inches do I have for my casing, like 1.5. So that 1.5 inches, so I'm going to have like 7.5. So this is what you are going to have. You understand? So that 1.5, you are going to put it back into this part, because at the end of this, you are going to fold it. That's when your fabric is like this. But if you are folding it already, you already have it, so you don't need to put it. So this is what you will do. You are just going to use your 6 inches, because you already added this to it. So you place it like this, and then you mark your armhole like this. So this is one way, and then you curve it, and then just depends on how wide you want it, because you are still going to gather this part. So in case you don't want to do this, let's do directly. So you take this part of your armhole, and then you know it's okay. Yes, you're going to take this part of your armhole, and then you are going to place this like this. Can you see? Remember this part, this one is extra. You understand? So you place, after measuring the wideness of your armhole, you place this like this for your round, like this, and then you curve. After placing, you just curve this out like this. Sorry, you curve this out like this. Okay, so this one is like an addition, because you are going to be creating a casing here. You understand? This part is going to be a case for the elastic to sit on. So you put that like that, and then you cut this out. So when you cut this out, and then you cut, so it depends on how you want your sleeve to be. So you cut this out, which I, okay. So I'm just trying to find my fabric, which I actually did initially. Yes, it fell inside. So you can see what I was trying to explain to you guys. Can you see? So now in stitching this, what you are going to do, you are just going to create a case. Remember that case on top like this. You are going to fold this like this, fold it in, and then you put your elastic. You put your elastic on this part, and then put your elastic at this down part. So let's see. Let's just go fast, sharp, sharp over that, so that even though we're not going to stitch it, so you guys can see. So you fold that your 2 inches or 1.5 inches in that like this, and then you fold it. Okay, so after folding it, the next thing you are going to do, you are going to come to the down part also. Like my thread has finished. and I'm not in the mood of starting a new thread. Oh. So any color you go see, you go manage it. Okay. Yes. So let's go. So for the down part also, you are going to take this like this. So it depends on how many inches. So you add that to the length when you are measuring. Please note, because the elastic is going to be up and down. So once you are done, you measure, turn it like this. So now we're going to join this sleeve together. But note, this down part, I'm not going to join it yet. I'll just leave that. That's that part where we'll have our elastic case, both for the up and the down. Okay. So now let's see. So we want to put our elastic. So I just want to show you guys just to make it easier. So because of those of you that want to learn how to make the sleeve. So remember I used 11 inches for my own, 10 inches rather. That was the width that I used. So you can go as much as 20 inches, okay? So it depends on how big you actually want it to be. So you take your elastic now and then you place your elastic through the case. So as soon as the elastic as is passing through, it is actually giving you that effect that you can see on it. So I've done this before, so that is why I really don't want to waste so much time with it. Okay. Yes, that is why I really don't want to waste so much time with it. So you can see. So when you are doing this, make sure it is going to be tight. You understand? If it is not tight, that dress will be falling off. But since it is an elastic, that's the beauty of using an elastic. So I'm just trying to secure it down. So I'm trying to secure it now. So just use your what do you call it? Your machine. Stitch it down nicely. So I'm trying to stitch the other one down also. So you cut that off. I'm just trying to separate them. So at the end of the day, you can see this is what we have. So you see, and then this down part also, the same thing goes for it. You place your elastic case. That's that down part also. You pass your elastic through it also. I'm just trying to be fast, okay? So you guys should please like the video. Those of you that don't know how to see the like buttons on the side, you see the three dot on the right side of your screen. Just go through it. So for this down part, after placing it, I'm trying to, yes. So I'll secure this before I join it, okay? So I'm trying to, let me keep my pin. I don't want to start looking for it again. So it depends on how full you want it to be. So please note at this point, it depends on how full you want it to be. So now at this point now you can now turn it and then you join it. That's that down part. You can turn it. So we are done with our dress for tonight. So what I'm going to do now, I want to place it on my mannequin so you can see our off shoulder sleeve. So let me show you guys how it will stay on our piece. Since I made one, I'm not sure I'm going to place it on the mannequin so you can see. Can you see? Can you see? So you are going to stitch it like this now. Hmm? Can you see? So this will help you to strap it in. So in case you made a off shoulder that the neckline is too wide, at this point, the only thing that you can do is you can cut in the armhole and then bring your sleeve closer so you can see. Just imagine if you bring your sleeve closer now, this point to this point. But the issue that you are going to have with that, the chest part, you might have problem. You might have problem. Okay. Yes. So now let's see. I want to I want to place this piece on my mannequin. So I'm trying to clear off my dress form. Let's see. So for those of you that tuned in today, thank you so much for joining our live stream for today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys. So I want to open this up, the zip allowance part, so that I'll be able to place it back on my dress form. This fabric is so soft, so soft, and it's just not. I'm just not loving the fabric. Okay, can you guys see? So now let's pin. You pin here and you pin here. Can you see? So that's the beauty of dress form. That's why it is far better than plastic mannequin. They have shape. It looks like it was a little bit too far. Can you see? Can you guys see? Can you guys see? You see? you'll see that it came out fine, right? So guys, so follow. Okay, Chuku Angel, welcome. Oh, you're just joining, so you can just go back and watch. Ouch! Yeah, ouch! And I've been trying to avoid it since, so I don't like hot things. Oh, I've been trying to avoid it since. Ah, oh, jeez. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for joining. So you can see at the end of the day, we achieved it, right? You can see how beautiful she's looking. Yes. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. All right.